Good morning, this is Rob with 13 Peppers, and in today's video we are going to be using up the mash from our red pepper sauce recipe. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take the mash that actually made from our hot sauce recipe that we actually did earlier, and we're going to take it and dry it out. With this, once it's dried out, we can actually make seasonings, marinades, and everything else with it. So let's get that ready. Oh, gotta clean up the mess I'm making. Okay. Now, this is a fruit roll-up tray. You can make dried fruit roll-ups, basically. Most dehydrators will come with one of these, or you can buy one separately. The other thing you can do is if your dehydrator doesn't, you can use wax paper. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and load this up now. I just want to spread your mash out onto the tray. There's no point when you make hot sauce wasting this good stuff. Okay, and we're going to go ahead, we're going to spread it out here. Okay, so that's good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to go ahead and set it in the dehydrator. Now with the dehydrator that I have here, I usually set it when I'm doing seasonings between 125, 130 roughly, which is roughly the temperature that I use to actually dry out my peppers, because it's warm enough to dry everything out quickly, but it's not too hot to actually change the color too much on the peppers, because one thing that you want to do is try to maintain the color when you dehydrate. Because sometimes if you got the temperature too high, you can actually completely change the color of the pepper from like a nice bright yellow to like a deep dark brown, and that just doesn't look good in the end. But we'll go ahead, we'll get this dehydrating, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Now we have the mash to spend a couple days in a dehumidifier. It is nice and crusty and one nice solid piece. So what we're going to do is we are going to take that and we're going to transfer it over into this plastic bag. All right. I'm going to try to get the air out of this plastic bag. And what we want to do is we just want to start touching it up. One of the things that I've actually done too, and I don't know, just the way I was taught on a lot of different things, because in my household we didn't have a mortar or pestle. So this is, take a cup, you can break it up just like this. One other way you can do it is with a rolling pin. So with that, it's got a nice smaller grain to it. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to transfer this to a smaller cup so we can actually start using it. So I'm going to put this here in just a simple little bag. And the easiest way to get this out, instead of trying to open it up and those ridges, is I always just cut the end off it right there. There we go. We can go ahead and save it and use it for any other future projects, seasoning or whatnot. Now, I have here a 1.5 ounce spice jar. I've actually specifically bought these for a future project, and it has a self-sealing lid in there. So once you actually close it down and seal it, it opens it up, and it has a 5-hole slot on the top. So the ones I specifically have purchased. But with these, you probably have a ton of these in your house from spices you buy from the store. Just save the container, clean it up, and you could use it just to save your own spices. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fill this up. Once you have the jar filled, and go ahead and close it down, which on this particular one, it will seal the top, label it, and then you can actually use this to shake this as a seasoning if you want to, on top of your grill, on sandwiches you want, or anything that you would actually like. You can use this just as a traditional season, just like chicken, steak seasoning, whatnot. So that's number one. The next section is to actually use a spice grinder to put this into a finer powder. Now, with some of the really hot sauces, you do want to actually use a mask because the dust that it can make can really choke you out. But you want to use a spice grinder or a coffee grinder. Now, this particular one does spices and hot peppers specifically. I don't even actually use any of my regular spices in here. This is just for hot peppers specifically. You can use your own coffee grinder if you have a coffee grinder. Just make sure that you clean it out really good so you're not transferring your flavors and everything back and forth. So now what we want to do with this is we're going to go ahead and fill this up. Not too much. We're going to put about half cup in here, give or take. And we're going to go ahead and grind this out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this set just for a moment to let the dust and stuff settle in it. Okay, once that's settled, I'm going to slowly lift this up. Okay, and inside here you can actually see a nice fine powder. Same thing. What we're going to do with this powder is we'll be able to use it as a seasoning to shake it on a couple different things, whatever you like. But here I just have a standard salt shaker. It got a lot finer holes than our seasoning thing we did earlier, but it makes a nice way to actually use the powders in the seasonings. And with this particular one, I mean, these are picked up real cheap at like the dollar store or whatever. They're like 2 for $1, so can't really beat that, being glass. Okay. And with that, you put your top on it, and then you have a nice powder that you can actually shake on to different foods as a seasoning. Last but not least, my favorite way of actually using the spices in here is as a marinade. So what we're going to do is just prepare a nice simple marinade and show you exactly what I do. All right, so normally, depending on what I do, if it's going to be a large full meal or like what this is going to be my lunch. I'm going to go ahead and just get a Ziploc bag. I am going to be using 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of canola oil, 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of the seasoning. Put that all in there. What we're going to be adding to that is these chicken tenders. I have 3 of them here that I had thawing out this morning. I'm going to put this in the Ziploc bag. Try to get the air out. Okay. I'm going to take the marinade, just move it all around, get that chicken in there, get the marinade all around that chicken. Okay. I'm going to close that up, and then that's going to go into the refrigerator for a couple hours, and that'll be my lunch. I hope you found that video informative and helpful. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be producing a lot more videos like that. And you can also follow me on Instagram at 13 Peppers by Ralph. One last thing is I do have a store where I sell pepper seeds directly out of my garden, and that's at 13peppersbyralph.com. So please visit me there if you have any needs. Hello, in previous shit. I'm so party. Okay. Oh, I'm an idiot. Try this again. Sure. This video, I'm gonna go, got it. Is make a mess just like I'm doing. And shit.